Hello and good afternoon, and this is Kato speaking from Top Level Gaming, and welcome to the first daily. This is the first daily we're doing, and I'm casting here with Run a Meep. The map is Antigua Shipyard, and it is going to be a ZvP today. And Run a Meep now will introduce the players.
So, in the plot position, in the blue protoss, we have the alternate attacks Sake. Can do some in today's Zotac Cup, or not today's Zotac Cup, but a recent Zotac Cup. And his opponent today will be in the 9 o'clock position, Acer's Nurchio in the red Zerg.
So basically today we are looking for a long ZvP, about 30 minutes long, and yeah, but basically at the moment we're just seeing Nurchio just do typical Zerg things, and we have Sake just going for the regular fast forwards expand.
It seems like Sake is just going pretty standard here, going for the forward fast expand. Meanwhile, on Nurchio's base, it looks like he's just going to either go hatch first or pool first here. Doesn't look like he's going to take a gas. Doesn't look like a speedling expand or speedling build of any sort. Looks like some gas away from Nurchio's side.
I mean, when Nurchio does scout this forge fast expand, we should expect him to take at least 2 to 3 bases just to keep that one base ahead of Proas. So we do see the spawning pool is thrown down at Nurchio's base, and I'm surprised he hasn't gone hatch first, to be honest. But obviously he wants to prevent that, the pylon block as a natural.
Yes, it seems like he does not want that pylon to go down at any time at all, and it looks like he wants to put some early pressure on Sake, as that was a 14 pool, which is fairly early for Zerg nowadays, especially when fourth fast expand's going down. Looks like he's a drone here at Sake's natural, ready to block this forward, trying to block this forward as long as possible to give his Lings chance to run by. And it does block it once there. Will he block it again? No, but it was a good effort.
So basically, Sake has managed to basically put that Nexus down on his natural with minimal pressure from Nurchio. But here we go, we do have Lings almost finished. They are 4 seconds away from busting their eggs and running across to Sake's natural. And let's see if he does get this cannon down. If he does not get this cannon down, it could be GG for Sake. So let's see if the forge is placed down, and is the cannon going to go down? Let's see. Yes, the cannon is placed down, but this can be very, very clutch timing for Sake.
Yes, this looks to be very close for Sake. The Acer's Nurchio's Lings are running by. They do not have speed, of course, but they are running towards the natural Sake. This cannon is only halfway done. Meanwhile, Nurchio is taking his third base and looks to be taking his second base, or his second and third base behind this. The Lings are going around. The cannon is just about to finish, but does not look like it will be done in time. 1 Ling goes down, 2 Lings go down, and a third one gets damaged heavily by the probes and the cannon, but 4 Lings in total make it to the main base. Definitely some probes are going to go down here in Sake's main.
Probes are forced to be pulled from the mineral line. They are just sent back on. This must be very annoying for Sake to have this early pressure put on him with no units at all. So a couple of probes do go down, but this is very, very cost effective for Nurchio.
Very cost effective for him, just forcing a lot of mining time from Sake. He hasn't killed a second probe yet, but he's doing a good job harassing to make sure getting probes get pulled off not only minerals but gas as well, reducing any and all income from alternate attack Sake.
So we do see that things are starting to establish for Sake now. I mean, he's got his fast forward expand going down, and then basically now Nurchio, like we would expect, he has placed a natural hatchery now. And he's now starting to make the queens, just doing the drone transfers, taking everything nice and slow. So basically, we see the cybernetics core go down for Sake to then maybe start his warp gates, or maybe go for some Stargate play. I don't know. We'll soon see.
This Link's still running around the base of Sake, being very, very annoying, making sure he scouts everything that's going on. +1 going down on the forge. Warp gate starts scoring. Doesn't look like he's chosen an attack quite yet. There's 2 gases in the main, but nothing in the natural, which does lean towards sort of a gateway style. But there goes the Stargate. So it does look like we're going to be seeing some Stargate play. from Sake. Doesn't look like it's going to be a double Stargate though, as the gases in the natural are not taken at all.
Yeah, I mean, but by the looks of it, Sake is probably going to get a Void Ray out, or a Phoenix and a Void Ray. That's quite common play from Pros to then just go over to Nurchio's or Zerg's main base and just start picking up drones and just picking them off nice and slowly. So yeah, the Forge is about to, I mean, not the Forge, the Stargate is about to finish. I mean, and he has taken an extra gas down at his natural to then compensate for this Stargate play.
Yes, he hasn't saturated that yet, but should put some probes in there soon. And it does look like it's going to be a Phoenix skipping the Void Ray. We might see it later, but there goes down a Twilight Council, so I actually don't think we're going to see a Void Ray. Looks like we might just see some Phoenix Gateway pressure, maybe charge or blink along with these Phoenix. Would be a nice play, because you can use the Phoenix for high ground and use the Stalkers to blink in. This is a nice map for play, as the main bases have quite a lot of spots to blink into, as does the third.
We do see the double Evo chamber being put down in Nurture's main, and here we go. We have a layer morphing now, so basically now we're going to probably see maybe some infestors to then deal with any early pressure, and maybe to benefit the late game too.
Yes, it looks like some Sporkers are going down to the main base. 2 in the main so far, none in the natural, but 1 in the third. Looks like we might see some more coming down soon. Yep, there's another 1 in the third. Some Queens being produced at the same time, 1 being produced in the third, no more other than that. Looks like Nurture is not a fan of this mass Queen set that has become popular recently. +1 tech wing on the Cybernetics core for air. It looks like he wants to delve heavily into these Phoenix, as he is still making Phoenix nonstop. Oh, and there's a Dark Shrine coming down. Ooh, very interesting, as these Phoenix fly into the third. They try to pick off some drones, but a Phoenix just got picked off immediately. Some sloppy play from Sake.
So as we see, Nurture has got the melee attack for the Zerglings, so a bit, I think it looks like he's gonna try and defend these expansions with Zerglings, but I think at the moment, by the looks of his Phoenix, he might be teching. There we go, the Hydralist den is going down, so he will be teching to Hydralist to try and deal with this this Phoenix play.
It does look like he's going to use Hydralist, which is not actually the best choice you can do. I would much like to see Infestors more. Hydras are way too flimsy, essentially, when the Protoss decides to tech switch from Phoenix or from Stargate, essentially, to a robotics facility to try to get Colossus to take care of those Roach Hydra balls. It does look like a large number of those is going to run towards the code base of Sake. It looks like it will be cancelled, as there is no units in sight to defend it.
I mean, personally, if I was playing ZvP, I wouldn't commit too much to Hydralisk. I would just throw a couple of Spore Crawlers down at each base, and maybe just to keep my Roach Infestor production going, just to deal with those Phoenix and even any other units like Colossus or anything like that. I mean, it's all counterable. Here we go. We do have a relatively large engagement inside the main base now, where drones are pulled to try and deal with these DTs. The layer does fall, and here we go. He does bring in the Overseers, but the Banshees are just completely obliterating them.
Phoenix. Shit. Yeah. So it seems like this Hydra Roach ball, it doesn't seem to be a lot of roaches. I like to see more roaches support these Hydras, because they are a great DPS unit, but they are very vulnerable if left on their own. So it does look like there's going to be a lot of Lings running in here, trying to cancel the third base. They are successful once again. Zealot charge going down to hopefully deal with some of these Lings. More and more Phoenix being produced, as Sake does not want to stop with this Phoenix. He's going for a heavy, very, very heavy Phoenix style. This DT Shrine hasn't really come into play quite yet, besides the main. Well, I'd love to see more harassment from DTs coming out of Sake sometime soon.
I mean, as you just saw there, Nurture just scouted his Sake's pylon, which has been using to warp the DTs into his base with. A few more DTs are warped in, and those Zerglings are dealt with by the Phoenix.
Ballcaller trying to be targeted down in the main base of Nurtio, but it does look like it was transfused twice by these queens. 18 health remaining on that. Ballcaller will survive. This pylon will get taken down. Finally, from Sake. Phoenix continuing to use as there is a huge fight that Sake seems to win easily, picking up a lot of these Witches and Hydras while the Zealots and T's do a lot of deaths. You know, this looks very reminiscent of the Brood War build where players would make Corsair DT, where the Corsairs would pick off the Overlords, which gave detection in Brood War, and they would just pick the Overlords off. And in this game, Phoenix will pick the Overseers off, it seems, is Sake's plan. So the DTs are free to roam across the map, either in the open or in the main base. And he seems to be using Zealots as well to help take care of those pesky Spore Crawlers.
As we can see, Sake is quite desperate to get that that third expansion up, but as we can see, Nurtio just keeps harassing the expansion and making it cancel every single time. Here we go. We now see a few Zealots coming down to put a bit of pressure onto this third expansion. Phoenix have brought in here, picked up a few roaches. The Queen is even picked up, and by the looks of it, the Queen is going to go down with most of the drones inside this base. Yep, it looks like Sake is pulling out on top of this battle, but at the last second, roaches have popped from their little legs, and the Hydras are pushed in, but Hydras are taken out by DTs. What do you think is going to happen here?
So these Zealots have taken care of every single Spore Crawler, and the Phoenix have taken care of all the Overseers in the area. Nurture needs to morph some new Overseers. If we check the units tab, there are no Overseers currently on the map. So it doesn't look like any Spore Crawlers are in sight either, with these DTs doing a ton of damage. This one has 9 kills, soon that one is current. This other one is currently at 0, but I'm sure it'll get some shortly. The other Spore Crawler trying to burrow in does get taken out. These DTs are free to in at this home base. Overseer trying to come in, but Phoenix are just going to take it out very easily. Some great control from Sake.
So basically, looking at the units tab, it's always bad to be behind with drones when either against Terran or Protoss, because, like I said, Zerg always needs to be one base ahead of Protoss. So I think at the moment, I mean, at the 8 minutes max, I know you're meant to have 60 drones. I mean, this is 17 minutes, and Nurtio has only got 48.
Yes, it seems like Nurture's had trouble just getting anything up, like tech or bases otherwise, from this constant pressure from Sake, while feeding even more Zealots. These Phoenix still being made from the Stargate. Another one just finishing, should be making its way over shortly. Nope, they're sitting there at the Stargate. But these Phoenix doing a ton of damage, killing a ton of Overlords and Overseers, doing a ton of damage, constantly supply blocking Nurtio and making sure nothing gets up in the form of economy, tech, or bases in that respect.
I mean, look at these Phoenix. They can literally just sit over the top of Nurture's base, and he can't do nothing against it. I mean, he can sit them there, and he knows when Nurture is going to move out. He knows when he's going to try and take a fourth base, but Sake's just got this in the bag. I mean, he's totally decimating Nurture.
Yes, it seems like Sake's going to get a ninja third up at the bottom below his main base, and then in the 3 o'clock position. Still hasn't taken his supposed third base, as the Overlord has just been taken out. That was speed and creep over there. So let's check the player camera. Yes, Nurture does know this base is here, this hidden base down at the 3 o'clock position. It does look his position is occupied elsewhere, as there is a huge flock of Phoenix DTs and Zealots running into the natural and the third of Acer's Nurture.
I mean, really, what is Nurture meant to do against this much harass? I mean, there's only so much you can do. But there we go, another Queen does fall to these Zealots. More drones being picked off, the Hydra list have just been picked off yet again, and Nurture, to be honest, is not looking in the best of positions at the moment. I mean, look at all the Mobilars that are inside. That is going to economically ruin Nurture.
There's so many Phoenix. There's 10 Phoenix currently here, and they're just picking up everything. They still have a ton of energy. The Spore Crawlers are being taken out. The Overseers are being taken out. The Phoenix are doing a ton of damage, as are the DPs.
I mean, we can see Nurture is forced to make links. I mean, these Zealots probably probably, yep, they just mopped up all them Zerglings. Well, what a waste of minerals for Nurture, but it did buy him that crucial bit of time.
But in the crucial bit of time, we see that the probe being transferred from the now mined out main of Sake as Storm is being researched at the Temple Archives. Sake seems to be up to 8 gateways and continuing to make Phoenix. It's interesting that he hasn't transitioned into a Robo Bay at all, or Robotech at all. Normally, or at least what used to be the metagame, is that the Protoss would go Winds of Air and then force the Zerg to go basically Hydras, or force them to go Hydras. And that would allow us to go tech switch into Colossus, which would easily win them an engagement in the middle of the map. But now it seems that Sake is still making Phoenix. He wants to commit to this reminiscent Corsair DT style that's working very well for him so far.
I mean, yeah, like I was saying, he's still trying to pump out as many Phoenix from this one Stargate as he possibly can. Zealots patrolling the area, making sure that there is not going to be any sneaky lings that try to run past to take out this third base. There's still an Overlord that sat right at the edge of his fourth. I don't know, like, maybe what Nurture could do better is maybe make a Nidus network. I mean, he could get around the map a hell of a lot easier.
I think a Nidus network would be a good choice at this point, as he can't really get much up in terms of hive tech. His main base is mined out. He barely has natural and barely has a third. He can't, with all this constant pressure, he hasn't been able to get a fourth up, and he desperately needs a fourth that's 22 minute mark. He needs to be on the 5th or 6th at this point. He's constantly getting supply blocked. There's more DPs, more Zealots, everything happening at Nurture's bases. No harassment has been able to take place at Stalker's bases, except till now, where this Roach Hydra Force seems to be able to take out this hidden third, well, not so hidden third, but this ninja third from Sake.
So the Phoenix are gathered up now. I mean, they're probably just going to come across and mop up most of Nurture's army right now.
Yeah, so now that he has a ton of High Templar with Storm, he has so much Storm capabilities here. The Phoenix should be able to easily pick up most of these units. The Hydras are all very low in health. The Overseer's days are numbered, and the Hydras will just all get picked up from the mass numbers of Phoenix. There's just tons of massacred Zerg units going on here.
I mean, I'm surprised Nurture is able to reinforce this fast with the amount of bases he is on. I mean, it's quite weird watching Zerg just being on 3 bases compared to 5. Like, yeah, 5 while playing against Protoss. I mean, look at that. He's even saying in the chat that Phoenixes are broken. But personally, I think he just needs to get some Infestors in there.
I think Infestors would have been way better choice than Hydras. Hydras being very flimsy, and okay, just saying, oh, well, you're make Hydras, well, I guess I'll just keep making Phoenix.
Yeah, exactly. It's all it takes.
Some nice storms going down third, preventing Nurture's army from even walking up the ramp. That is it. Now that he has storms, he does take out most of the Spore Crawlers, and now there's just so little anti-air here. Phoenix are doing some good work picking up a lot of the Roaches, and the DT's just doing a ton of damage.
By the looks of it, this third base for Nurture is going to go down. A Spore Crawler gone down again, and basically now Sake is looking into going into Archon Tech, which is doing a ton of damage to those drones. I mean, look at splash damage. I mean, the Archon is taking out at least three or 4 drones at a time, but the Archon does fall, and Sake is forced to back out.
Sake is forced to back temporarily, but it does not look good for Nurture. His natural is almost mined out, and his third isn't doing so well either. Sake is on a much third base than Nurture is, as his came a lot later, and Nurture desperately needs to get some extra bases up. It's the 25-minute mark, and it is still not. Nurture hasn't even begun to think of a 4th base or an extra base at all at this point. Nurture desperately needs an extra base, as more and more DTs are being warped into the main for harassment. It doesn't look good for Nurture.
Yeah, agreed. I think by this point, Nurture should have chosen to go down the Broodlord path. So basically, you could just deal with all of his Phoenix with Corruptors. I mean, it's probably not a good idea going Mutors, because Mutors are counted by the Phoenix.
He was Archon, but I think he just wasn't able to get any Spire tech going whatsoever, Corruptors or not, because of this constant harassment. He had to make more and more Hydras and Roaches to even just survive this constant pressure from Sake, as he was not able to get bases. And now moving up, the Spore Callers finally starting to move out of creep, and finally is trying to take this fourth base in the middle, as is Sake.
By the looks of it, Nocho has got a pretty nice Hydra force at the moment, but that storm just landed right on the edge of his army. I mean, I think both players now are going to be competing for the middle, like for the fourth bases. So we shall see how this battles out.
Looks like it's going to be a battle for position in the center, essentially, as both players trying to get the fourth base in the middle. Sake currently with the forward position on the watchtower, and he has Lava Storm ready to go.
Oh yeah, you can see that those High Templar are almost full energy. Most of them are full energy, some of them are half. And I don't know what Nocho is really going to do here, apart from try and put his last effort into defending this fourth base.
A very smart move from Nerdo, getting Burrow, finally getting Burrow. Sake still doesn't have Robotech whatsoever, so that means no observers. That means that Burrow is going to be very effective. I would like to see him get some Tunning Claws maybe as well, to maybe burrow under some of these Protoss units, take out the Sentries and High Templar, as the Phoenixes are actually dwindling in number, and Sake does not want to make more of them.
Agreed. Well, this fourth base for Nocho is about to finish. Like, you can see the drones have been transferred from his mined out mineral patches, and by the looks of it, there is going to be a massive engagement in the middle of this tower soon. By the looks of it, Nocho has scoured, Sake has taken a fourth base, which is very bad news for him. I mean, he needs to get this base down, and by the looks of it, it is going to fall.
Looks like it. Looks like just swinging around trying to take out this fourth base, this Roach Hydra force. I don't think Sake has enough to even try to stop this. He has a storm, maybe? I don't even think he has a storm ready. But looking at his High Templar, it doesn't look like he has a storm as the fourth base goes down uncontested. Sake's going to have to make something happen, as he's going to have to try to take the middle position again to try to take out Virtuo's fourth.
There is a sneaky DT now running around his third base, but it's soon countered by a few Roach and an Overseer. So by the looks of it, Sake is going to move down here and try to re-establish this Zalnagel watchtower.
Yes, it looks like he's coming down here trying to re-establish it. Big Roach Hydra force there, but just not, honestly, not that great upgrade either. 2-2 is just about to finish, or just finished for Nerdshio, but Sake still on, what is it, 1-1? Yeah, 1-1. Not too good upgrades from either player here, especially at the 31 min mark. It should be at least 3-3 or more.
I mean, as we just saw there,
maybe.
Sake had a very nice control of his force fields and did land a storm right at the edge of his force fields, catching some of the Roach and Hydra out of place.
Another big engagement in the middle, and Sake needs to back up. He's out of storm. There's one Archon doing some damage, but Nurture has quite the advantage here. Some nice force fields blocking out some of the units, but Hydras have such a big range. Linkstalkers are not.
All the drones are being forced to be pulled back away from that mineral line, which is very valuable to Nurture because he needs those minerals to instantly remax his army. And by the looks of it, Nurture looks like he's about to get steamrolled. Yeah, all the drones are being pulled, they're all being sent into battle, and by the looks of it, it's looking very bad for Nurture, to be honest.
25 drone, 37 probes. It looks like the drones will have to be pulled for this fight. Lots of Linkstalkers. Upgrade advantage or not, it's going to be very hard to take out these Linkstalkers, plus this Archon.
Yeah, I mean, by the looks of it,
Archon being targeted, Linkstalkers blinking back. Isn't looking for Nurchio. Burrow, there's the Burrow. Looking for that, but talking without the Robotech, as I stated before.
Yeah, it's not looking good at all for Nurture. These Stalkers have just demolished his fourth base and now moving towards his further expansion.
And it was so crucial to keep that third base alive. Nurture does not have the minerals or the mineral patches to even remake a third base. At this point, Nurture was down 50 supply to 77 of Sake's, needs to win a huge engagement and then go kill the third base of Sake, which I don't see happening anytime soon in Nurchio.
Totally agreed. There's Blink Stalkers just then, blinking, taking out the Observer, then moving back. Just so that the DT can do a bit of extra damage to Nurchio.
Exactly. Almost mined out. Less than 100 minerals left in his third. There's one in his natural, one in his main. There's nothing left for Nurchio. He has to win this fight, but I just do not see it happening with the DT's DPS. He has to pull back to the Spore Caller, and now long distance mining from both players will have to occur at the fourth base.
Yeah, by the looks of it, this battle in the middle is going to take place rather soon, and by the looks of it, I think Nurchio is not going to win it. He does not have the minerals or even the food count to even take care of this at all. So Sake just moved back in, got a few extra stalkers warped in, and Nurchio trying desperately to do as much economical damage to Sake as possible, but personally I think Sake's got a bigger army and he is going to pull out on top of this.
A little bit of funny moment there as Sake blinks his entire Stalker army forward and then accidentally targets one of his own Stalkers, but it looks like Sake will win regardless, as the fight will shortly ensue. The work count 12 drones for Nurchio, only 12 drones for Nurchio compared to the 33 drones for Sake, and it's looking very good for Sake at this point. Nurchio does not have the minerals to remake any drones or bases. The drones being pulled, Roaches and Hydras fighting these Blink Stalkers. Nice Blink Micro from Sake. Looks like he will win this fight, burrow or not.
Yep, the GG has been called by Sake, and there we go. I mean, the thing that Nurchio could have done better about that is maybe make some infestors, and at the 12-minute mark he could have chose what he wanted to take to. He could have gone Broodlords, or he could have just stayed the harassed Roach infestor play.
I think infestors would have been a better choice, that's true. I just think that Sake's harassment went far too well, and Nurchio was never able to get off the cliff that he was in terms of being pressured and harassed. Like, he constantly had to make more and more Hydras, more and more Roaches to even just survive. He was never even allowed to heck up to get extra bases to get more economy. He just was constantly be on the back foot from Sake's brilliant Corsair DT missing harassment.
Yeah, to be honest, I think there wasn't much that both players could do on the harassment page. Both players were continuously checking the expansions to see if the other person had expanded. I mean, I don't think it would have been wise for Sake to expand into the top left, because by the looks of it, there was creep spread going up there, and basically Nurchio could just lings and just ling pressured his expansion and stopped it from going up. But yeah, personally, Nurchio could have taken more expansions in the game, got the creep spread right across the map and split the map in half basically, and then it could have been GG to Nurchio.
Yes, Nurchio, if he had more bases, maybe it would have gone another way, but brilliant harassment from Sake, preventing Nurchio from even thinking about getting extra bases up, constantly putting him on the back foot. Nice play from Sake. I really like that interesting Phoenix DT style that he did for quite a long time during this game, and that worked very well. And Nurchio was frantically trying to make more Spore Callers and Overseers as they're constantly being picked off by the Charge Lots, Zealots, and Phoenix. Or Charge Lots, Phoenix, and DTs, excuse me.
Yeah, I totally agree, but I think that's all we have time for today. So from everyone at Top Block Gaming, have a nice day, and we will see you on the next daily. Thank you for watching.
Yep.